That's very weird. Part 2? Where is... There it is. Oops, first one randomly. We're back. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. First. That was really weird. Why isn't the chat showing up? Why must it thwart me so? Test. Chat. Test. Test. Did that show up? Okay, that showed up. Can you post your username instead? Or can you not just join the Discord server? Alright. Looks like we're back. Welcome, Advanced Warrior. We were watching Lazy Boy in his Andy mirror. Went for our T-Copter opener. His opponent did a base skip for an early recon with their T-Copter. Pretty spicy. Discord's free. I would highly suggest to joining the Discord server for Advanced Wars by Web. It's a great place to get advice. It's a great place to make friends, to find live matches and all that stuff. Yeah. Very nice, Advanced Warrior. Very nice. Okay, I'm liking Kian's strategy so far, with artillery on the weak side to help hold it down. This recon's being annoying and blocking this city. I like Lazy Boy's approach with getting some mechs. I would just say you're also going to want more than one T-Copter to really get the mech plan going. Is casting to another screen? Oh, Kian, you're in the chat. Oh, hi. The base skip was very fancy. I don't think it probably hurt you too much because that's an infantry only base. Yeah, you could DM me the link on the site. Ooh, Lazy Boy, very nice artillery placement. It's a very strong forest. Covering this city is a huge deal. All right. Of course, you always have to be very careful with your recon on the weak side. Okay, and being very careful. Very nice. It's always debatable about whether or not you want to put your mech on the mountain. It makes it visible, but it's also a very defendable location. All right. So in this case, Can's in a little bit of a pickle because this artillery is, of course, shutting down this city, but now they don't have an artillery in this force to shut down this city. But they're both very valuable. That's okay. Okay, Can starts getting a mech. They are really good. I would suggest at least 2 T-copters if you want to go mech spam. Out of that base, which I would recommend, as it's very good with such defendable terrain like these forests here, the mountains. It's hard to hold against all that. I like that Lazy Boy is being very conservative on this side. It's your one base side. Your unit count matters a lot. Having it covered by this artillery is very, very good. Yeah, sneaking right down the middle. Ooh, that was very nice. Something you would like to normally protect against is to make it so it's very difficult to reveal and hit the artillery in the woods. I think this tank can get some good value though, so it's okay. And yeah, you get to hit. Good. Ooh, the tank did not go in. That's fine. Yeah, falling back is also fine. It's taking a couple infantry shots. You're of course Andy, so your stuff being knocked down to 5 doesn't really matter in the very long term, but it does quite a bit in the early game. You don't have supers coming quite as quick. Okay, so we have what looks like might be a front switch, which I would definitely agree with. It's very difficult to really get any more value out of this. Taking this city is a lot harder than taking this city. And as long as Lazy Boy doesn't catch on to the front switch happening, which looks like he did because of the mountain, he can be very successful. Is quite the line of infantry. So in the future for Lazy Boy, I would say don't hesitate to trade out here. And the main reason why is because this is the one base side and it's not going to be able to continue the infantry production that you can. So while you won't get this city, you can permanently deny it by just taking out all the infantry. You like your anonymity? You get to keep your anonymity on Discord. There's no worry. It's just usernames. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a front switch. A nice pick off of that copter, but then kind of weird to throw your copter in over here. Yeah, we got big time front switch going on. And it's definitely paid off because Yen is 4K up. Lazy Boy is not going to let it go or for nothing. And if everything here kind of shifts up here, like it looks like it might, then that could be, it could be really bad for the front switch if it gets sandwiched. And the thing that, well, Lazy Boy is behind in income. He's doing a really good job on the unit count. And of course, unit count is king in most cases. And will quickly turn the tides of the income once they can kind of just overwhelm on the wide map. Ooh. That is a very... I don't think I would use Andy's super here. Not many of the units that are left are going to benefit from it. And there wasn't really that much healing going on. It will get you this tank. I feel like that was a bad super. And the retaliating super is going to be a lot stronger. Like a lot stronger. Lots of healing, lots of first strikes that that one probably could have done a little bit better too, but it's fine. That's a much better one. So you always have to be careful on that kind of stuff. Just because you have your super doesn't mean you want to pull the trigger right away. Because even though you'll like end up wasting charge, you're not using your super to manage your charge very efficiently. You're using your super to get an advantage in the game. I really like Andy mechs. Mechs are just a little bit more durable than infantry, so they're harder to kill. And they get a lot out of the +1 move, and they get a lot out of the heal. Okay, so the unit count has again swung heavily into Lazy Boy's favor, which should mean not. Oh, that's his own infantry. That's why. It should mean he'll be able to start taking some of these cities because he can just have units over there while matching other fights, which looks like most of the excess units are being used down here. When you have a really large unit advantage, I would definitely be like, I'll just send 3 infantry up here. It'll be really hard for my opponent to really invest stuff to stop that. Because while having a lot more units just in fights is really good, the major strength is that you can have side skirmishes that your opponent can't afford to commit to. Because when you don't have the unit value lead, but just the unit count lead, that means you probably won't win in a brawl with all the vehicles present. I mean, you might still win in a brawl with all the vehicles present, but you probably have a unit count lead infantry-wise, so you want to be able to force infantry fights that your opponent can't match. No comm towers will be just like this map. Ooh. Poor Neo Tank. Always very risky to bring your Neo Tank on the road in front of your army next to a city. Would not recommend. They're beefy, but they can still get taken down. And imagine it goes down here. Yeah. That hurts a lot. Okay, now the unit counts are starting to pay off income wise. And it's also, of course, paying off a big time in that fight. Like, there's not really very many of Theon's infantry left to actually clear out these infantry to let all the vehicles hit vehicles. Sure, you can send me a screenshot. I think that's a fair resign. It's really difficult. I mean, well, I guess all the copters are about to die. You don't have to resign in that kind of situation. You probably have to front switch and try and hold this off somehow. But it's tough. You can see that Kian had the income lead that whole game. But income is not as strong as unit count. I'm not sure where they ended up getting behind in unit count. Looks like it was around here. No, not quite. A little bit. Oh wow, that was the one. This is the turn that it went. I'm not even see what really happened. That I guess this guy died and the infantry over here died, and then everything leaves, and everything gets picked off a little bit. And everything gets picked off a little bit. Yeah, okay. That's tough. Yeah, I think he would have been wiped out there too. Oh yeah, of course. The really big turning point was this early super into the really good super. Supers win games. They're very good. Okay. So I have a game from Yami, and then I'll do the one that was just sent to me. In messages. It's Chespone, Albert Wesker. So in general, I would say that Grim is a pretty decent CO against Sammy. In Fog, at least. Saw the screenshots. I can take a look. You're very deep into enemy territory there. Yeah, that's looking pretty over. Oops. Ah! Infinite loop. That's not you? Yeah, the vision denial is real. Rolls win games. Behind the scenes, yeah. You got to see the chat that I see. 10-0 is pretty good. Okay. Chess Pone against Albert Wesker, who I believe is a Grim alt. Now, Sammy does have some transport shenanigans on this map because this, of course, there's T-copters that are going to be good. The lander can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and drop off in this forest. Oh, Melt? Yeah, Melt's good. Melt hasn't really reached his rating yet. It's a nice little boost there. You even get to keep the black boat on the comm tower, which is very valuable to do against Sammy. So I'd like to see more recons. Let's see, or I can transport copter. I'm also happy to see. The Grim Recons will hit Sammy infantry very, very hard. That's what I think we're about to witness. Yep, down to 1. Hey, more recons. Very nice. So when you're fighting Sammy, if you can trade out infantry, you do. I think going for that kill is fine. I think I prefer to go over here and go for this one because this guy's going to get picked off by our infantry eventually. Oh, this is Tokyo Drift. I did not know that. I have covered this one once before. I'm not sure why that T-copter went there rather than here to boost him. But I guess the boost doesn't actually matter because he's going for the city. As Grim, I would definitely get an artillery pretty quick to clear this pipe seam. Yeah, exactly. Because you'll kill it in 2 turns. Okay. I think I'm liking this as Sammy a little restrained, which you need to do. Keep your tanks guarding against the recons. When you're using recons here, try and hit from multiple sides so that they can't get away with just investing tanks on one side. They have to do it on both sides. So far looking really good though. And you're always going to be happy when you can trade a recon in, hit an infantry, and then get a first strike with your Grim tank against a Sammy tank. As you can see, that's really good. Pop, pop. Yeah, preserving the recons really nice as well. Looks like you couldn't quite get into the forest, which is totally fine. Grim copters are very good. Another recon. I like it. I like it. I like exactly what Grim's doing here. The only thing is I'd like to see a recon down here. Okay. don't know why there's this blue line on the map. There we go. I like that Sammy's has gone into battle copters and is using those. Sammy's greatest weakness is when the unit count goes against her, especially when infantry are involved. So getting fast battle copters is usually a great idea. Okay, over here, I wouldn't go for the city yet. I would try and get vision, because you know that these guys are here because they killed your stuff. So you can bring the tank over if you want. You can bring this infantry over to spot it, and then I would kill off these guys. And then later on, you go for the capture. Very cautious with this. I guess this is just, yeah, because of the copter. Copter first strikes are scary. Oh, and artillery from Grim would have been really good to clear this. Okay. Looks like you're gonna end up trading sides here, which is totally okay. Killing off as many infantry as you can, always good. I'm not sure why you didn't just go for this comm tower, because you have a lot of infantry around. So yeah, I guess that's fine. Wow. Yep. Very, very nice. Those Grim Copters are hard to deal with when they are outnumbering you. Looking good. Not sure why the artillery got brought over here. I would prefer if it just shot the pipe seam down. That's fine. It's a huge deal that this is going to still be alive, because it's going to be able to check for anti-airs. And then you get to kill a bunch of Sammy infantry. You see Grimcopter knocks the infantry down to 3, which is what you have to do to stop Sammy from getting the next cap. Haven't had a game as Drake where I got to use copters. Yeah. Copters are just good. They're just good. That was a very fancy little boost. And Sammy's doing just fine. Sammy's up 6K in income. I think that's going to start going the other way if these infantry stick around and get wiped out. Because, of course, the classic thing with Sammy, like, this is not good. The classic thing with Sammy is that you're up in income, but you're down in every other metric, and then you lose the game. Oh my gosh, that's so... You hate to see it. This is going to be a Grim Power, wipe out a ton of stuff. Oh, the tanks too. Haymaker. Yeah, you don't even need your super. Oh, never mind, you are using your super. I don't think you needed it though. I think you get all these one shots with just the normal power. Could be wrong. Infantry can take out the T-Copter. It's a huge deal. Gonna slow down Sammy's infantry deployment, and then you just want to. You're also going to want to keep in mind that you want to sit on a bunch of cities. Ooh. So in this case, if I'm looking at what's going on over here, I'd be very worried that Sammy is going to super and take that city. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would probably tank kills this, copter kills this, copter kills this, recon plus infantry kills this, infantry kills this. Just wipe them all out, or wipe them all out except for the 2 health one, and then sit on the comm tower. I don't know why this tank is being so scared. You really need to kill those infantry. If you kill Sammy's infantry, he doesn't have a power anymore. She just has a negative day-to-day. I guess this was because you were worried about Sammy taking the city with a victory march, which is fair. Okay, so Sammy's definitely going for the comm tower here. Here, Sammy, do not do this. This is really, really bad. Because those units are just going to die. Okay, Sammy's going to get that city. Sammy's going to get... Sammy might win off of the capture victory. No, I think... Maybe 1 city short. Yeah, 1 more city I think would do it. So this is the problem with using Sammy's Victory March super. You got these cities, but all of your units are now horribly overextended to get them, and you're just going to lose all of them. It's the classic way to lose is Sammy. Everyone's done it. Because you're like, oh, if I take all these cities, I'm going to be so far ahead in income, and I can build all these like great vehicles that my opponent can't match. But it just doesn't matter when you lose all your units for it. But we'll see. And oftentimes what happens is you take the cities, you lose all your units on the front, and then they just take all the cities back. It's just how it goes with Sammy. So right now, Sammy's feeling pretty good. You'll note what Sammy's spending all this money on, right? You get 1 infantry, and then you get, in this case, just 2 vehicles and floated a bunch. Definitely keep up the copter spam. But these vehicles that you buy as Sammy, they're worse. They're worse than your average vehicle. So you're going to have to build not just regular vehicles. You're going to go like battlecopter and then really big stuff to try and keep your infantry spam up. You definitely want to tech up. You need to pressure them a lot. Yeah, down 12 units. infantry are exposed. Got 9 infantry left for Sammy. Now, I understand going for this cap, of course, because I think with one more capture, you win the game as Sammy. Probably should be going for this cap. It might be 2 more captures. But it looks like Sammy's not going to get it. You see how brutal this is. Grim's about to double Sammy in unit count. And now there's 2 infantry on this entire right side. This guy didn't even keep the cap going, just stood there. Now, Sammy does have victory march here. So there's still a chance. I think, well, Grim can always block here with this black boat or with the copter. Probably wants the copter on this city black boat here. Well, now he can't move the black boat, so this copter better go on that city. Although, I don't think Grim is no longer in lose 1 city, lose the game territory. I think it takes 2 cities now. There we go. I understand not wanting to take the black boat off the HQ, of course. All right. You got to remember when you're Sammy, while your infantry are stronger on attacking, they're not any stronger on the defense. And your powers only affect your infantry. So the fact that 3 of the 5 infantry on the map now are just going to die. It's, or I guess there's this one over here too. It's also going to die. It's a big deal. So yeah, now Sammy has to I guess I'm building a fighter and as many infantry as I can. Yeah. Now Sammy's down to 12 units. Every Sammy knows your pain. You're like, I'm ahead so much in income. And being ahead that much in income would be really good if the game was stalling. Of course, the game isn't stalling because to get that much income, you had to overextend a lot. All right. Now Sammy is just a little bit ahead in income by 1,000 and less than half the unit count. Behind in unit value. And has a useless power and a negative day-to-day at this point. Random Sammy fighter appears. I think it's about to die. Yep. Now, fighters are usually very durable, but against Grim, not so much. You can see how it goes for Sammy. Yeah, you gotta resign there. You can see now just how impressive. Yeah, Chesspoint is very aggro. You can see now just how impressive that Adept 999 victory was when he was down so much in unit count against Eagle. They didn't build any mechs. Sammy does have to be very defensive. Sammy has to be very defensive in Fog. Okay, we have another Sammy on the same map. Eagle against Eagle this time. So I'm guessing this is a Sammy main, because boy are they out of their tier range. But at least in the early game, Eagle will not be quite so devastating as Grim is with those recons. But as soon as the powers come online and the copters are doing their thing, Sammy will probably just crumble. It's tough. Okay, fast artillery. I like it. I don't know whose alt it is. I would assume it's an alt. Going for this fast break is going to be good, though. I think going for fast transport copter would be stronger. Is it Math Blitz? Math Blitz would go for a fast transport copter. For sure. Max should be decent on this map, yeah. Okay, so they're going for a very fast break on this. With the artillery mech combo. Still no transport copter? That's wild to me. Well, that does mean that Sammy's capture game is going to be a lot slower than it could have been. But that's okay. The pipe seam has been broken. Straight into the anti-air. Usually, I mean, against Eagle, you kind of feel forced to go straight into the anti-air. But it's not very often that Eagles go copters really fast. Because, of course, they get shut down against anti-air, and it's more expected that they're going to build copters. Who'd I pick in tier 2? Probably Olaf. Maybe Max. I think they'd all be pretty good. Initiating mech spam. Hey, there's our T-copter. That was a little bit aggressive as the recon, but that's okay. It still gives you a lot of good info. now Eagle has broken the pipe scene too. And Eagle is doing just fine in the capture game. But you can see this is kind of how Sammy needs to play. Very slow, very much collected together. And one of the things that you can take advantage as Sammy is that they have to commit 2 units to stop your captures. I build a recon here or there. Who? You're always going to be, well, Sammy lost their recon, but you're always going to be wanting recon so you can see where your opponent's army is. You can get away with not building them if you're playing very defensive in a brawl-like setting where you know where everything's going to be. But in general, you need them. And against Sammy, I would recommend getting a lot of them. Probably a lot earlier than they did, or Eagle did. When Sammy built the recon back here, it was probably meant to do a probably like mistimed it with the lander, maybe. I'm not sure. Or just didn't feel like it needed to be rushed out. Oh, this one. That is really weird. My guess is they didn't think it needed to be rushed out and they wanted to have other stuff forward. Okay, that's a lot of mechs. When you're dealing with mech swarms, the important thing to do is not attack them until you are ready to just crush them. Yeah, poor artillery. So Eagle is going to lose quite a bit here if Sammy can get the power. Or I guess not. The other mech can't reach. So just a little bit of loss for Eagle there. Not that bad at all. As both comp towers though. Do I have any more replays after this? I do have some. I'll probably do one more and then call it a night. You can submit one for next time. Feel free. Having both comp towers as Sammy does feel really good. Having your anti-airs picked off does not, though. Although when it's happening in range of multiple mechs, it could hurt a lot worse. But this is what Sammy likes to see. A front where you're even on infantry and then you're up a recon. You can see, yeah, double time looking very nice here. Get to take this guy out, get to start that capture. Not sure why that showed the mech doing 0 damage. That definitely didn't definitely didn't do 0 damage. I'm not sure quite what's going on there. I would have liked Sammy to bust through here and take out the artillery. Dropping mechs on cities is pretty risky. Especially that one. I mean, Sammy knew there was an artillery there, had been shooting at her stuff. So that's a little weird, but that's okay. Ooh. Looks like this city is just barely out of vision. Always feel free to send in replays whenever, and then they'll eventually come up. I think the backlog is getting kind of shallow now. This isn't the eagle like gameplay. The ammo from hitting the pipe scene. Oh, how'd you do, Fluffy? I think Eagle's doing just fine here. Being up unit count against Sammy is always good, as we saw in the previous game. Ooh, that mech getting a shot on that artillery is a big deal, though. So, Eagle can lightning strike this turn. It's going to be a lot weaker now that the artillery got hit. So the copters can kind of kill a lot of stuff, but they can't touch the anti-air very well. But I guess that's okay, because this anti-air at least is in range of a tank from the base with a lightning strike. I probably would have gone to this one, so I could at least fire with the 1 damage. Is that really all the tank? I guess so. Although having no comm towers on your Eagle Super does hurt. But still, this is going to do a lot of damage. Copters take out the medium tank. Copters take out the tank. After the mech. This copter is like thinking his lucky stars. That wasn't in vision. Yeah, that's looking very awkward for the artillery to move back and come back when it could have shot. But yeah, that was a pretty nasty turn. But when you're against Eagle, you kind of have to expect that there's going to be a really nasty turn like that. It's difficult to impossible to completely play around a lightning strike. So definitely falling back is a good option. If Eagle overextends after the lightning strike, you can still get some nice value in the end. Looks like Eagle isn't super overextending though. Just kind of taking everything that Sammy had to give up to retreat. Which I would also definitely recommend. Yeah. Keeping up the unit trades. At this point, of course, Eagle is just getting more and more ahead at this point. And getting closer to that second lightning strike, which I'm sure would completely end the game. And we'll see, similar to last game, Sammy is way down on infantry. And once you're out of infantry as Sammy, you're just a negative day-to-day CO. Eagle was playing around Victory March here very well. I think this is actually going to be a 0 city Victory March. Didn't have to be, though. Sammy could have gotten that city. But you hate to see it. Recon has been surrounded. Eagle's falling back at this point. Just a little bit. I think that's totally fine. You want to get your units clumped up as Eagle. You put a lightning strike incoming, and then you'll probably just win. So, a good call. You're just glad there's a game Eagle doesn't miscalculate the supercharge. Yeah. A lot of Sammy games play out the same way. You get a head-on income. You're behind in every other metric. You run out of infantry, and then you lose the game. Okay, well, Eagle can definitely get the lightning strike this turn. So, I don't know if I would make that attack. Because you can. You just gotta keep in mind that this artillery is gonna shoot at something. So don't steal its targets. Yeah, like I don't think I would do that attack. The one thing Eagle doesn't have going for him right now is there's no recon, which helps a lot when setting up lightning strikes. All right. Lightning strike. Imagine everything but that medium tank is probably going to die. A little bit concerned about some of those attacks, just because they were like as close to the opponent as possible, where you would have liked to scout up there first, but it works out just fine. All right, we're at 28 to 13 units. Yeah, and then resign. It's rough out here for Sammy. It is not. She is not an easy CO to play. Okay, I have a game here. I have my own game we'll actually show off. To end it on. Let me count by not blue though. All right, Fluffy. Good night. So this is the game that got me #1 in Fog way back in the day. You hate this map? So this is before I even know that there is such a thing as a move planner. I have a vague idea of how the rockets, how the missiles aim, but I'm not even sure on that. But I have my own developed opening for this map at this point, which involves rushing these really fast with the first infantry and not going for any airport stuff until later. I wasn't on the Discord really until I was already #1. I didn't really get involved into the Discord until a comp buy sent me a message on it after this game. Before that, I'd pretty much just use the Discord to ping me when it was my turn. And I played most of my games live. If I could. The comp buy's got his own fancy opening here. Double loads into this black boat. Drop one off here, drop one off here. I think the double load does not speed this up, if I'm right, because instead of loading into there, you could walk to here, and the next turn he'd walk to here. So he drops off here, so that's the exact same speed, but it is fancy. But at this point, I've realized how contested these properties are on this map, so I go for a rush down here rather than back here. Yeah, he drops off there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would be better if he could drop off here and then pick this guy up, I guess. But this isn't actually any faster than just walking. So it's kind of a misuse of the black boat, in my opinion. Where all of the boosts I get over here are huge. But I do have a slower airport this way. You can see the difference in where our infantry are on the map. His infantry are anywhere close to these forward properties, where I'm going to be able to capture these a lot sooner. In fact, I already have one. And I've already, at this point, I've already developed when is a good time to skip to city skip, and it's when I have another infantry the next turn ready to start this one, and I can go for this one for a more efficient capture route. And you'll see I don't buy a tank the turn I have it available, the funds available, because I'm going to want to have as many infantry out for the capture routes that I want, and then I can just start pumping out a ton of tanks, and not rely on a trickle of vehicles to try and get map presence. I'll just have like pairs of vehicles and the like going out, which is very hard to deal with if you have one forward tank and it runs into two tanks working together. You'll just lose your tank. But now Count Bai has got his own strategy that I did not use on this map, and that is mechs into the black boat to help control this front. There we go. We have our vehicle combo. I went with tank artillery. Why am I going artillery? Because I took these properties really, really early. And if you look at these forests over here, they cover all of the properties. So if you can get a fast artillery over there, you can lock that stuff down very easily. Still kind of wondering about the Rachel pick. That's because it's base light. There's only 2 bases. So even though I don't have a great understanding of how the missiles work, and I don't know what the move planner is, I do know that in base light, you're forced to, you're going to run out of infantry, basically. And then you're forced to have vehicle balls that get just absolutely dominated by the missiles. Okay. So we can see already how much stronger my capture route has been so far. I'm ending my turn at 11k. Kampai is going to be starting his turn at 9k, which would be fine, except he doesn't have any other captures happening. So he's going to also end his turn at 9k. And then I'm going to have 2 more lined up. I'd pick Andy as the other CO, but you could also pick Drake, I guess. So that's pretty huge to be so far behind on a turn. He's going to start catching up here. So he's going to be able to end even at this point. I think I mess up some capture out stuff over here. I don't remember them. You can see I'm getting a little too greedy here. I'm trying to go for these properties without having vehicles in place yet. And Kampai, instead of getting here really early, is going to get here with a very strong force. Okay, that was another turn in which Kampai ended behind in economy. And I'm comfortable going with this stack because I'm investing all of my vehicles down here. I'm not sure if there was a better place for the artillery. No, that's the best place. It covers this tank. It's hard to break through over here. You can see now that I've gotten all of the infantry out that I want. It's just a bunch of double vehicle production until I start making some battlecopters. Tier 4 here is probably Jake. You could probably do Jess too. There's a very strong early recon harassment you can do. Okay, so we can look at what's going on here. Kampai has invested a lot of units up here, like a lot. Where I've just kind of got like a skeleton crew going on. The whole plan here is that I'm going to encounter his units and then I'm going to start retreating, and then I'll build heavy vehicles to win as he chases me. That's my plan. Okay. At this point, I don't know if I continue committing, but at this point, I can recognize that, okay, he's got a lot invested up here. Which, of course, means I should fight down here. Go for that tank strike. There's a very strong artillery here. Arguably, I could have not gone for the tank strike and instead canceled this property. But I think this is probably better, because if I win the brawl, I can just take the property. And if he wants to strike this tank from the city, he'll have to... Not that he'd want to, because I have an artillery here. He'd have to take this guy off. Okay, so he's beat my guys up there. Sadly, this tank can't quite get the 2-hit KO over here. Very, very sad about that. But I can take that guy out, reveal his tank, and I've got a lot of vehicles here. Because, of course, I've invested all of my vehicles on this side, so I know that at worst I'm going to be facing the same number of vehicles. I don't like this move that I do. I'd much rather, if I was playing it again, I'd probably go back to this city to repair. Or I wouldn't. Actually, what I would do is not move this infantry here. I'd move it up here. I'd bring this guy back to repair this, to repair on this city, while keeping all my tanks together. But this is a young and naive Go7. Very aggressive. I was known for going for the throat, as D just put it. Okay, so he's fighting over here with me. I'm a little bit out of position with these guys. They should definitely have been back with my other tanks. You can see how far ahead I am in unit value. At the end of Compai's turn, I am 500 behind, which is huge. I would still commit to the horizontal front. I think that was a good play. I think that this is a bad play. I like this though, taking out that recon. Taking out his tank. I'm really sad that I don't actually have vision of this guy. I don't know if I could have given myself vision of that guy. I could have. I definitely should have gone here with the infantry. Hit, and then take this guy out, but whatever. Oh, I needed to have vision of the recon. I could have used that. I could have used the other infantry to get that vision, though. You can see that I'm like, I messed up, because this guy's like, oh, I had a target, but I can't actually see it. I just barely don't. That's pre-move planner Go7 right there. See, I see first strikes, I go for first strikes. Even though this is like horribly overextending. But you can see I've started the transition to deal with everything up here. Medium tanks are the plan. Medium tanks are also my plan for dealing with the Rachel missiles. And Kampai plays very well around this artillery. Nothing's actually in range of it. Very sad. Right, medium tanks are on the way. Oof. So unlucky. I think it's fine though, because I can just... I think I'd probably do different attacks if I were to do this again today. Probably have this guy come over, kill this guy come up to hit this, move the artillery back onto a city, have this guy come down and kill this tank. And then probably block this force with this infantry. And this is just a horrible attack up here. I don't know what I'm doing. This guy's not even capturing this city. Just throwing that infantry away. I was getting my covering fire. I see. And that's going to hit. Boom, boom. So this is the problem with going for an attack like, or going with a push like this with a lot of forward infantry and mechs. Because you do like to like magnet some missiles, but you don't want to magnet them onto your front lines like that. So that's why I was waiting on that. Okay. And I should bring this tank onto a property. There we go. So this was my technique for dealing with Rachel missiles, is I would build 2 medium tanks in a row. So that would always hit the value one pretty much. Now you would think that was a killer blow. It was definitely a lot of damage. And I mean, honestly, that's an incredibly impressive play around the missiles for someone without a move planner, I gotta say. Like this one hit 2 infantry. Okay. You can see, so basically what's been going on with his anti-air is it's been getting a lot of like tank kills, and he hasn't been attacking it. So I'm very, very comfortable with the with these fights, in that I'm pretty darn sure he doesn't have any copters, and no copters really on the way. Because if he has copters or copters on the way, he's going to target the anti-air instead of the tank. Save! Project Save the Penguin. So I've started to do my front switch up here. Kind of wipe him out as much as I can. And he's falling back here because, of course, I was having a lot of vehicle pressure and killing his front line there. Bring this guy all the way back for some heals. A little bit risky to do that, but I think actually that's actually a pretty bad play. Because that guy wasn't actually going to start capping that yet, so I could have waited one more turn before going into attack so my medium tanks could fight with me. It's still fine though, I'm way ahead. Good night. The Company's mechs have been sent here quite a while ago, but now they're going to actually start getting some value, which is good for him. And I was going for some very risky captures here that I didn't actually cover with any vehicles, which I would say is not a great choice. And now my super brazen anti-air use is going to start working against me. Because now he does have copters. So he's going to actually target it now. So there's a bit of a problem of my setup here. And that is, if this infantry goes down, I don't actually have a way of spotting the tank that did it. That's something you always got to keep in mind in Fog. Because I have like this great setup with artillery and tank to kill the tank that takes it out. But I don't have the vision set up. It's always has to be part of your engagement plan. Okay, I have absolutely nothing to deal with this copter. So I have to actually build an anti-air this turn, and it's going to have a long walk to get up there. I do have a lot of vehicles over here. I probably don't need to run with that medium tank. I understand why I do. Both sides throw their AAs away, yeah. I mean, this really hurts. I had such a good stranglehold on that side. But just mismanagement of vision and everything cost me a lot. And Compy's copters are getting a lot of value. They just get lots of free shots. I think the attack on the arrow is not great. We get another covering fire. I don't think this one is as strong. Okay, it does knock a medium tank down to 1, so that is pretty good. I don't remember how I play around it. Looks like I group 2 infantry together, and then just have everything else just kind of spread out as much as I can. Looks like 1 hit down here, 1 hit here, and 1 hit here. Is that right? Oh, but this guy got hit by 2 of them. And it's still pretty good play around. So I would totally have won this game very quickly. Who was the top player before this match? It was a Chinese player who has stopped playing. I think their name might have been Dream in Chinese, something like that. So if I had managed the bottom just like a tad better, I think I would have just ended this game very early on. That, and of course, always making sure that I have some sort of anti-air in place. Copters just wrecking havoc. They have not a care in the world, but finally they will go down. I think I even kill it with the medium take out of Vengeance. Yes. So at this point, I think things start to stall a bit. Yeah. I'm just desperately trying to defend this property with infantry, but it's not a good approach. Oh, but he doesn't go for this one. He goes for this one. That's one I can actually defend. Very weird play. Usually you want to go for the furthest away property, so that they have the hardest time actually interrupting you. Now that is a wild attack to send a medium tank forward to interrupt a cap. I do give him some compensation though, because I put this here to kill a tank, which places it in the range of 2 artillery. So while he did sacrifice a medium tank to interrupt the city, I also gave him a medium tank in exchange. Yeah, the medium tank did the job of the recon there. Would not recommend. He gets my medium tank in exchange, so it's fine. And he kind of goes in a bit, which is really dangerous to do because I know where the artillery are now, and I know they're not covering these vehicles. Think I get the interrupt here? Yeah. And this recon survived, so we got to see this anti-air and where it was. You can see how dangerous it is. Like, I lost a medium tank to these artillery, but getting the idea of where their position is suddenly makes them very easy to play around. And at this point, I of course started to run into an infantry problem. So I built lots of infantry, lots of copters, heavy, like medium tanks. I'm also, I think, trying to bait all the missiles over here instead of the front line at this point. I don't even know if I succeed in doing that. I do not. So that's why that's definitely not having the move planner there. Like this, I think it just took the... This might have taken the value one, and then the other two hit up there. Because this infantry counts as double because it's doing a capture. I cast low rating matches, no worries. He's doing a similar thing where he's trying to bait the missiles. I think he successfully does. Double down here, one back here on the bomber. And I pull back because, of course, I just got hit with a missile over there, and I'd like to heal up. And I know he has a lot of stuff down here, so they can't really be that much defending the bottom, so I should be able to take back all those properties. So there I go. And I think at this point, I'm starting to get very far ahead in unit count, which is a huge deal in base light, because of course you can't produce that many units. So he's got a lot riding on this bomber, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's like almost a fourth of his entire army value. And of course, I again have no anti-air. I don't know what I am thinking. I don't think I spot the bomber this turn. Okay, I do build an anti-air though, I realize. Oh, it's because I was relying on copters instead of anti-air. The bomber reveals itself by hitting this medium tank. And he doesn't have any recons left. So as long as I just I can hit his infantry because I know he's behind in the unit count. And I can just pull back and he can't really fight me. I also don't have any recons, which is definitely not good. And I also, this is before I realized that when you're trying to fight a bomber, you need to use 2 anti-air. So I built a fighter though. Yeah, fighter will definitely do it too. So I rely on just 1 anti-air and just screening it heavily to try and find the bomber, which I would not recommend. If you're dealing with a bomber, definitely use 2 anti-airs so it can't just snipe your anti-air and then be invincible. Penguins aren't even real. And now that I have my anti-air and the fighter on the way, I'm very brazen with these attacks. I don't really care if he counters. I know that he's invested a lot in having a bomber. So as long as my anti-air is in a nice safe position that covers everything, it actually doesn't cover this guy. Which is a mistake for sure. Covering fire hitting down here is pretty good. And here comes the bomber. Now it's very exposed. I don't think he even walls for it. Yeah, which is really weird. And now I get to use my covering fire in retaliation. We'll definitely hit his bomber. And then with that dead, and the fact that I'm going to take his comm tower, and the income is 21k to 13k, I believe he resigns at this point. Or maybe he resigns right there. So that was it just ended. It actually went to day 30. This was my first game that ever got this long. So this was a very classic game to demonstrate strong side, weak side, and then strong side front switch after you've taken everything you can take. And that's pretty much how I climbed when I originally played. It was just all in one side, then front switch, and take the other side. And while Kampai sort of all into one side, he also invested a lot on the other side with a lot of infantry and mechs and this artillery, which weakened him when he was actually fighting down here. But then I make the mistake of not properly using my anti-air, not having enough anti-air, and also mismanaging my vision at the bottom and the defenses down there in general. So he really gets back into the game just off of like a single copter that harasses my entire tank force. But if you're kind of trying to climb in fog, I would definitely recommend a strategy like this, where you tend to send all of your vehicles to one side and win that a lot, and then be very tentative on the other side, and be willing to retreat with your infantry into heavy vehicles, combined with a front switch to win that one next. It's a very strong strategy. But that was a historical game against one of the greats, of course. And I hope everyone enjoyed. I'm heading to bed now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another stream. How did Tordred pass me that one time? That's just because he played a lot of games now. I haven't been playing a lot of games. He passed me without ever playing me. Same with Ingegark.